Hey, everybody, coming. All right. Welcome to Rick Snider's Washington, where you get the whole story. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And thank you all for coming again. Just kind of hitting other buttons as we do this. And here, I'll hit that one. One of those days. They're always one of those days. Anyway, but thank you, everybody, for coming. On this, we're going to do next Monday also, because minicamp is this week. I'll come back next Monday. And then we're going to goof off until whenever it comes back. Hey, Chris, thanks for coming. You're first in. Man, where's Steve at? Where's Todd at? All right. So I'm just sitting here posting video for tomorrow morning. No, I don't do it live at 6 a.m. like everybody thinks. No. You don't want to see me do this at 6 a.m. Clayton, thanks. Randall, there you go. Man, Todd, where are you at? Steve. Crazy. So I'm just finishing up, and I'm gonna beg for some money, and then we're gonna talk minicamp, and you know how that goes. So I hope everybody's enjoying our brilliant summer. All right, okay, that's done. All right, here I beg for money. Here we go. Secret to Caveman Cooking. Father's Day is Sunday. What have you bought? You bought a tie, bought a shirt. Loser, whatever, however that works. Get this. $15, signed, sealed, shipped, delivered. I'll drop it tomorrow in the mail. Hopefully it'll get to wherever you're from in time. I can't run the post office too. But if you'd like it, it's on Amazon, among other things. But also, I'm going to stick into, well, you can get Rick Snider's Washington. Washington.com. Or you can do the PayPal Venmo thing. PayPal. I meant to do this beforehand, but you know, busy. So when you do this, if you do this, I appreciate it if you would. Anyway, Secret Caveman Cooking. A lot of recipes. Let's see, barbecued salmon. That's good. Mahi. I was in Hawaii this year, man. Mahi is awesome. Seasoned lobster, but it's not all seafood. I mean, what do we got up here? Barbecue sauces. Got my own special sauces. Sorry, couldn't freeze frame that one. New York strip steak. Ooh, you know, that's always a grill favorite. Anything on the grill is good. You know, we have fruit. How to make fruit. I'll say about fruit on the grill. It adds the sugar content, and brother, you better be ready for that. So, anyway, it's a fun book. It's a fun Father's Day present too. That they'll laugh. Maybe they'll make some steaks on the grill for you. You get to benefit from the knowledge on all this. So if you buy it, supporting this show. I don't usually ask for money this time of year, but if you just want to straight out give me some money and that dollar sign below, why don't you just do it and get a book, you know, for it. And I will sign them too. You can't get signed on Amazon, but you can get the book. So whatever. So I appreciate it. All right, Steve, DC Defenders are XFL champions. Well, they got one more game to go before they can become that, but they did win, I guess, their conference or whatever yesterday. Good for them. They lost their coach to the college in like mid-season. A lot of stuff happened to the guys. Give them credit for, you know, pulling out and winning a big game there. So we'll see. Randall's ready for 95 degrees and 90% humidity. Well, Randall, it was 92% humidity the other morning when I was in the garden. It was like 72 degrees, and I'm sweating like crazy. So summer's here. It's going to be like 90, I think, on Thursday. Tomorrow, the team starts practices. Their afternoon practices too, like one, you know, something like one, you know, 12:30 to 2, something like that. Well, I should know, so I got to be there. But so it'll be hot, but you know, it's hot in DC. It's hot in games, you know. So why not? Mike, pineapple on the grill is good. I agree with that. Yeah, I throw pineapple on the grill now and then, not for my pizza so much, but for other things. When I'm going to Hawaii for a week earlier this year, spoiled me. I'd never been there, and you know, the pineapples are awesome. You know, the mahi, you know, anything fresh is awesome. So I enjoyed those. So I try to eat them still. Steve got his new swimming trunks. Thanks, Steve, for giving us that image. Now I have to go around half blind. Um, are these mandatory OTAs? Well, they're not OTAs, Mike. They're minicamp. Two different things. OTAs are not mandatory, and they had them the last couple of weeks, and three players didn't come: Jerry McLaurin, Laramie Tunsil, and Marshawn Lattimore. Terry's kind of in a thing with the contract renewal. He's under contract this year, but he wants, an extended deal. So he didn't come to the voluntaries. I don't know if he's coming tomorrow. We'll see. I would advise him, yes, don't make this ugly. It's going to get done. So don't put all this bad blood out there, and don't let your agent saw you down the river like this. Come, just tell everybody when people like me walk up to you tomorrow, go, Terry, you going to sign a new deal? Just say, I love it here. We're working on it. That's all you got to say on that. Nobody has to make this ugly. So don't. Uh, I expect Tunsil and Lattimore to show up. I don't know. I have no reason to think they won't. So they're kind of shorter practices. They do wear, they have a little bit of pushing and shoving, a little more than usual than the OTAs. But you're not really allowed to pop people. You're not seeing that. It's still, just a little an acceleration of the basically, wearing jerseys out there. I thought Jaden in the first 2 weeks of OTAs, the 2 days the media saw, we look good. But as the defense said, hey, man, we can't hit anybody, can't push anybody in secondary. They're going to look good. And that's true. But I thought they were pretty well contested. So the corners were staying with them, and that's a good thing. Because there's no pass rush either. So Jaden's just pitching and catching on there. But he looked good at it. So there's nothing bad to say. They do have pads on, but not everything. You have shoulder pads on and all on there. And so minicamp is mandatory under the collective bargaining agreement. So we'll see who comes. And, it's not like if Terry didn't have a contract at all for this coming year, I could see, well, he wouldn't have to come because he wouldn't be under contract. So there's that. He'd be a free agent like anybody else, but he's not. So we'll see what happens. Will there be somebody, I was thinking about the defensive end that everybody's been talking about for a while. Defensive edge, why aren't they getting one? And I was surprised too. But I think here's what happened. They decided we're going to bolster the secondary some so that they can cover receivers better. We're going to plug the middle against the run because they're facing a lot of good rushers this year again. And the last couple of years, they've just been destroyed up the middle against the run at times. So if you can hold the line on running backs against them, and that'll also give, the secondary gives them a little longer. It's a symbiotic relationship between the two. But I think they decided, let's get some big fat guys in the middle because we're very valuable people, and try and hold your own against the run because they were third worst in the league last year. And that'll help other things. And meanwhile, they got a little more help in the secondary. And so I think that you don't have an edge rusher is not it's not the biggest problem that they have. They got to stop the run more than anything. Mike, do players get fined? Yeah, they do get fined if they don't show up. I forget what the new number is, but it's not $5. It's a little money. It's not like it's $15 and he couldn't buy my book. So, anyway, you see my Venmo and my PayPal thing there, so you can order them direct. That way, I get all the money, like a $12, $13 book would. Actually, I do shipping and handling. That's $5. So I'm making $7 a book maybe off this. So not getting rich. That's for damn sure. All right, stay hydrated. Yeah, Roy, I big on that, man. Don't wear black in the heat. You know how many young reporters or even old reporters? I tell, why are you wearing black in this heat? You know what it is? See, I grew up without air conditioning, and people my age. So we learned how to dress, like something light colored like this makes a difference. It can make a 10-degree difference. Black absorbs heat. But see, we were used to these kind of things. We did anything to try and make it cooler. Today's young people, they're in air conditioning all the time. They don't really think about it. And that's like, well, you're going to think about it when we're trying to wake you up off the ground. And water, yeah, water's big. I'm outside a lot. So I know how to survive outside, but you would be surprised, the young people that do not. So don't do that. It's I think it was 2 years ago, the Canadian wildfires are going on. and they're back again, but we haven't really seen it here in Washington much. The haze in the sky, a little bit, but not too much. But I remember a couple years ago, I see players really breathing hard during a mini camp, and I thought, what's the matter with these guys being out of shape like that? And then I realized, oh yeah, it's the smoke that's around. So, it's weird challenges. A few years ago, we had the cicadas, whatever. I thought my phone was beeping in my shirt because I heard this buzz, and I look over and damn thing had gotten under my shirt, and it's like, they're like that big, they're not small. So it's always weird, And this time of year, tomorrow, you have to know which side of the practice fields to be on because one side's closer to a stream, and the gnats will drive you crazy. Gnats haven't been bad on the other side this year so far, but if you don't live in Washington, you don't know what they are. They're like specks, little things that just won't leave you alone. They won't hurt you. It's just annoying as crap. So these are the things we have to put up with out there. To play, let's see. Would you think Terry deal will be another 3-year? Probably. Terry is what, 29 now, something like that. So he's kind of getting to that part of the career where you don't want to go too many years out because people sometimes get old at 30. Can't imagine, but that's what I hear. So that's why you don't want to do some 4-year deal like that. You rather do 3, and maybe that's part of the negotiation on that. Love the cookbook. Thanks, Joel. Have you seen it yet? I'm gonna buy one. I got a couple. I got a box here of them. Black or brown? Phew. I'm telling you, Steve, people just nowadays don't understand heat. And it's like also there's a lot of times you can be where you're standing. It used to be we had the artificial turf field. Man, that was brutal. That'd be an extra 10 degrees being on that. So you try and get on the grass versus the hard surface. It's little things like that. People my age understand these. The young people have to learn it. So I'm telling you, listen, Uncle Rick, stay off blacktops in the heat. Don't wear black in the summer. Drink a lot of water. That kind of stuff. Or Gatorade, or like Clayton has here, body armor. There was that one liquid death, I think they call it. It's water. I've never had it, but it's pretty cool. It's water, but I think it's the kind with the bubbles in it, and I hate that kind of water. I like my water like a stream, fresh and clean. Brown's your favorite color, Steve? I think. What is my favorite color? Well, my kids used to, I'd say blue, and they go, "Why?" I said, "It's God's favorite color." And they go, "How is blue God's favorite color?" I said, "Well, look at the sky. It's blue. Look at the ocean, blue." I like. It was as good a question as any to answer kids when they ask those questions. So, anybody asking any more questions, or are we stuck somehow on this stupid computer? Let's see. Nobody's yet. Okay. Well, the viewership changes like every 15 minutes. Mostly, I found it's a low number tonight too. Usually, I have more people. So every 15 minutes or so, I can repeat things because most of you didn't stick around. Some of you do. Steve does. So that's why I just repeat the answers to some things. So minicamp is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sometimes coaches give players off Thursday, depending. They never really plan on it, but they think if Tuesday or Wednesday is like a bad rain out day or things just look awful or they're not getting it, they'll make them stay for Thursday. But if those don't happen, they'll cut them loose a day. And it is. You think, well, you got 6 weeks off after this. Yeah, but everybody likes to get out of school early, That's the kind of thing. Karush, was the whole new uniform helmet thing just a rumor, or is it still happening? I've heard about it, haven't seen it. So until I see it, it's just a rumor. I know it sounds weird on there. Nothing to do with the stadium right now. The mayor's caught up. There's a lot of stuff going on in Washington right now, but the mayor did submit her budget, which the stadium is part of. It's going to be August. I know everybody says there's a July 15th deadline for this deal. That is not. I saw real estate 10 years. I know what happens when deals need to be extended. You go to the date part, you put an X through it, you write the new date, both sides initial it, and you move on. And that's what's going to happen here on it. Nobody, it's not going to say, oh, July 16th. We got to build something today. So I'm going to go to Landover. It's not going to happen. So I'm not real worried about that. We had, a lot of stuff in town this week, and then there's a big parade this Saturday. The mayor's busy dealing with a lot of stuff right now. Maybe they call back next week. Joel, I remember training camp Pennsylvania. Yeah, scrimmaging the Steelers and the Jets and the Patriots. Wow, you go way back on that. Yeah, I did a few camps in Carlisle. I think it was a great place. It wasn't any cooler, despite being in Pennsylvania. It was still hot and sweaty in Carlisle. Frostburg was another thing. We were up in the mountains, and Frostburg's weather was nice. There was nothing else there, but it was nice. I don't see them going away to training camp, at least not this year, of course, but not next year either. And I think some of that's stadium related kind of stuff, but I don't see them going to some college or whatever elsewhere. They do have two. Quinn did confirm that they are scrimmaging at New England, joint workout kind of thing before the first preseason game, and then they'll have a camp with the Ravens for the last preseason game. Haven't heard of where that's going to be yet. Maybe that's at the stadium. I could see that. That way, it's kind of middle between both teams. And the problem that they have with the current park, they're doing a lot of renovations, but it's just not big enough to host another team to come in too. It's not big enough for this team. The old Redskin Park was built for a 45-man roster. Today, you have 70 between practice squad and active. So it really crowds everything up. And they're trying to alleviate it some, but also knowing that they want to build a new facility. You're not going to spend $1 billion on this place when we're leaving. So that's how that's all going on. Roost, did you see Mendelson being the city council chairman, on TMP that they will get a stadium deal done? Yeah. Yeah, I think he said it, and I believe it, and I think he may be the defining vote in the end. But in the meantime, we got to dance, and you got council members that knowing they'll vote for it, but still say, "Oh no, I'm for the people. We're going to get you." There's a lot of poor in DC who need help. Against that, but they're going to say we're going to try and do these things. Well, it's sort of like that means my vote is coming once I see a new community center or whatever, and this is how the sausage is made. This is DC after all. And so it'll get done. I'm not real worried about that. And my list of worries, I would say cancer, getting traffic accident, and this way down the list on everything. Clayton got back from Topsail Beach. It's Carolina, right? I think. We ate at Rick's Restaurant and Sports Bar. All right, cool. Where was that in Topsail? I haven't been to Carolina. If it's Carolina, I think maybe I used to go to Carolina Outer Banks every year for like 20 years. My kids were young. Yeah, Surf City, North Carolina. There you go. But I haven't been in a few years. They're getting older. Grandkids are getting older, so we don't always do the thing at the beach. But whatever. I was thinking about going to Madrid, but I don't think I'm going now. But I have a plan. Maybe go to Chicago, then drive and go see Field of Dreams in Iowa. I've never been to Iowa. I'm 4 states away. So I'm going to see Field of Dreams, cross through Iowa, get to Omaha, Nebraska, fly back from there. That'll be another state. And then I'm down to Alaska and Vermont. And I think that's it. Yeah. So, yeah. I did 46. So I got 4 to go. So I might do that this summer. At some point, and I'm going to go to Europe next year. We'll let everybody figure out what's going on in the world. Can you bring back Josh Rebus? Jamaican bobsledders with us tonight. Good. Gosh, I haven't heard that name in a few years, huh? I don't think right now they're shopping for offensive linemen, so I don't think so. Steve, I hope the updated seating is past 70. 65 with 5,000 temporary because you need 70 to host the Super Bowl. I don't know. You throw bleacher seats over portal tunnel, entrances and wherever you can. And so let's just say that 65 is packed every time, and they really could sell another 5. And those 5,000 temporaries may become permanents. I don't know. They figure out a way to do these things. If I was worried about the money, I'd do it too. KJ, who do you think will have the double-digit sack guy this year? Don't think they'll have one this year. Um, they'll see it. Okay, but last year, Armstrong had 10.5, but I think scheme was a big part of that too. Randall, so is Trey Hendrickson even in the conversation? Don't think so. I think they decided too expensive long term because that guy's going to want a deal. It's multi-year. It's going to want buku money, and I think they decided don't need to. Don't forget Chicago pizza stops. Roost, I got friends in Chicago. I told them, guess what? I'm coming to Chicago. We're going to meet at a pizza place. I've heard different ones talked about. We're going to meet at a pizza place somewhere in Chicago. Chicago deep dish is awesome. I've been to the original Uno's. It's a little hole of a place, but it's cool. Let's see. Clayton said ESPN write-up said Trey to Detroit. Well, good for them. I mean, Detroit needs a little more help, right? Because they couldn't get past the Commanders in the playoffs. I just finished, I just finished literally last night, my book for Triumph Publishing that'll come out in September, around the 1st, on Jaden Daniels and his rookie season. I wrote that book in 4 weeks, busted my butt. I haven't done as many videos. I think it's a damn good book. I was kind of surprised when I read through the whole book at once. This isn't bad for somebody who had to write it in a month. That was like, why are you guys calling me with a month to go? But money's money, So you're going to see that. I don't even know have a title. I don't know. It'll be out sometime on Amazon. All you can pre-order. We'll talk about that in August. But I did finish it. So I am book free at the moment, and that's fine with me. I want to goof off a little. It's supposed to be semi-retiring, but it doesn't seem to be working out like that. That's all right. I like working anyway. Let's see. Okay, the day before your birthday, Steve. When's your birthday, Steve? What day are we talking about? Anyway, my birthday's coming up next month, but I won't ask you for a gift right now. Actually, I think we're coming back like the last Monday in July for the live chats. I hardly missed one in 11 months, 10 months. I only missed a few. Let's see. Looking at the calendar. July 28th, I will be back for the weekly live shows, and training camp will start probably the end of that week somewhere. I haven't seen it. They don't have a date yet. I asked the other day. Maybe I'll ask tomorrow. Maybe I'll find out. September 2nd. What kind of date is that? No, okay. Good any other day. That makes you a Capricorn Horatius. I don't know any of that stuff either. Somebody asked me the other day, how many times have we eaten crabs this summer? I was like, surprisingly once. So Father's Day is coming up. Do you think my kids would have crabs for me? Probably not. It costs money. Somehow they feel, I don't know. I had lunch with a friend of mine, an old friend of mine who covers a team. I'll talk about that in a minute. But he grabbed a check from me and I said, hey, it's okay. I got to get here's a rule, oldest pays. And I thought, well, it works for me today, but it's not going to work for me a lot. My kids seem to think that they're still on the family payroll as far as eating free, whatever. But I did ask Dan Daly, who was Washington Times columnist for about 20 years or more, and we covered the team together a lot. And so we had lunch and we were talking. I said, okay, here's my question, Dan, because Dan's considered one of the great NFL historians. I said, look at the team last year. They went to the NFC Championship. All right. Compare that roster to any of the other 4 that went to the NFC Championships and 3 that won Super Bowls. Did last year, was it better than any of those rosters? And my answer flat out is no. And I said, because there's no Hogs, there's no Monk, and I got Jaden. Okay. Jaden's a better quarterback than those other teams have. But you go through the roster, it's not even close. I mean, you look at this roster, who's going to the Hall of Fame? Well, Ertz and, he'll do it, but that's because he was in Philly doing that. And middle linebacker, who am I thinking of? Some reason I can't say his name, is going too because of Seattle more than anything. I said, so is it coaching? Was the coaching the difference last year in getting that roster? to the NFC Championship. They were one game away from the Super Bowl. Just looking back on it, like, wow. And Dan felt like, yes, because in the old Redskin days, they've since expanded 4 teams, I believe. So the rosters aren't quite as good. Wagner, thank you. Bobby Wagner. Oh, sorry, Bobby. Getting old. Sometimes you blank on a name. That's why I carry a roster with me all the time on my clipboard when I'm out and working. Once in a while, it just happens. Anybody here over 60 something, you'll know. So Dan just felt like, yeah, coaching. And I did think it was a master class in coaching. And I would love to write a book with Quinn on what happened. There's so many things happened in that coaching staff. They did a great job. The coaching staff's all come back. They didn't lose their coordinators to whomever. That's a great thing. Unlike Detroit, who lost their 2 coordinators. That's a big hit when you have to have whole new schemes on both sides. So they really felt like it was coaching got this team over the edge. And that and Jaden. I mean, Jaden won 4 games at the buzzer, at the end of the season, that kind of craziness. Can that happen again? That's why I'm not sure they can win more games than they did last year because, geez, you had 5 wins at the buzzer, counting the Hail Mary. That's a lot. So we'll see. And the schedule sucks. Schedule's hard. I was just typing it in my computer today. Finally got around to typing it in this calendar section. And I thought, woo, this is rough. Crab Feast at Mechanicsville Moose Lodge. Woo, how much, Steve? Is this the last live weekly show, Mike? No, next Monday. We'll do next Monday. Be back July 28th. And I'm just going to spend Mondays luxuriating. I don't know. There's something, you know how it is, man. You never say you have free time because, or, wow, I've got some extra money this month. Boom. Yeah, your car breaks down. If I say, yeah, I got nothing to do, well, my wife will find something for me to do on there. Plus, my garden's going great. So I've been spending like an hour or so every morning in it when I can, when it's not raining or anything. So, how that goes. There was a year, the old married man tip here. There was a year I was freelancing really heavy, covering the team as well as my own job. My wife said to me at the end of the year, wow, you did real well, right? And I said, yeah. She goes, how much you make? And I said, well, I got about X amount. She goes, ooh, that'll pay for a Disney cruise for the family. As when it came out of my mouth, I knew I made a mistake because I keep my own checking account for business too. So my wife gets my paychecks direct deposit, but she never sees the other money. Not that we have separate money, but anyway, it was gone. It was gone in a second. So don't do that. I mean, it was nice, but I would have rather had my money. Anyway, so all right. Charles, I've been seeing all these articles about Terry getting traded. Nah. I wouldn't believe any of that at the moment. Because really, you still need him. You need Devo. You need a village. Noah Brown's looked okay in practice too. They're going to have a good, deep, I think, receiver core. And over the course of a season, you're going to need all of them. You're going to need everybody in the end. Thanks, Charles. I'm trying to remember the name. All right. Jalapeno 3. Sorry if you already addressed it. It's okay. How likely 0-10 will happen? Do you think McLaurin is signed by the first preseason game? If 10 will happen, then it's a 10. Okay. I think he's signed. Wouldn't shock me if they announced it this week during minicamp. But if not, you'll have a pause because there's no deadline in a way for a while. And they'll sign him like on the eve of camp or something. But I don't expect this to be a bad problem. Steve, $60 a person. Well, if I could eat it all, that'd be okay with me. Because I pay more than that, and the family eats them all. Actually, I got a family crab feast July 12th in Virginia. They seem to feel like their crabs are better. If they're better, why do all the Virginia crabs head to Maryland? Just saying. Those of us who live in Maryland, Virginia, like to tease each other. Sam, thanks for coming. Mike, if they traded Terry, Ashburn would look like LA riots. Well, I don't know if you go that far, but people would be unhappy about it. That's for sure. Everybody likes Terry. That's the other part of it. So, he's a very after Jaden now, he's the most popular player on this team. Maybe more so because he's been around so long. Trust Way, he's your man. Best punter. I saw the NFL wrote somebody else best punter in the league. I thought, I'm going to stay with Dress. You know, he's been pretty awesome for a while. What will you do if we win it all this year, Sam? Sam, I'll walk naked through the. No, we want them to win. Um, I don't know. I'll probably write another book. I can tell you that. That would definitely see. That's how this works. I hadn't written a book in a little while on the Commanders, and I didn't think I would because they'd just been so bad. And then this past year, they were great. Suddenly, a publisher is on the phone. You know, those kind of things don't happen when they stink. They only happen when they're good. And it's been a long time since they've been good. So if they won a Super Bowl this year, I guarantee you I'd have another book out. You know, I'd like to write a book with or about Dan Quinn. A fascinating guy. If we take Gibbs off the table, because we always have to take Gibbs off the table comparing, um, Quinn's the best coach they've had since Gibbs won. You know, not even close. And the staff. If we take the staff as a whole, it's a great staff. I mean, these guys are good. Cliff's just spending. Cliff can look you right in the eye, and in the minute, and while he's doing it, think of a play. I mean, dude's like that, you know. And Witt, you know, will knock you out first shot he gets. So, they're good coaches. You know, good staffs came from different areas. They weren't just one traveling band like most coaching staffs are. Yeah, I like that a lot about them. Let's see, Steve. I just heard Maryland is the fast food capital of America. I doubt that. I think down south they always talk about Louisiana, Mississippi, and them are. I don't eat as much as I used to eat fast food all the time, and I weighed over 300 pounds, and I stopped eating fast food maybe once a week, and I don't weigh that anymore. So they go, but you eat it once a week. Oh, you're going to hell. Yeah. Doctors, man. Doctors want you to eat like a bear. They want you to eat salmon, berries, and drink stream water. My reply to them is, do you see any skinny bears out there? No, they're big fat ones. So that can't be the right diet. So I'm actually dealing with plant-based diet stuff more. I have finally found a really good dietitian who understands a lot of things more than don't eat bread. And we talked about, plant-based stuff. She said, "Do you try the bacon?" And I just said, "Yeah, it was awful. Plant-based bacon. Ugh. It's awful." That's going to be a meme. Somebody's going to put it. And she just laughed and nodded her head. She's not so far down the road. She can't believe, that she's going to pretend that's true because plant-based bacon's awful. And I don't eat regular bacon anymore because it's too many chemicals. Augustine the King, thanks. Yeah, we'll ring the bell for you. Clayton, I like how Jaden does the VR training. Yeah, it's a German company that created it. He plays at full speed. I've never seen his. I've seen others. It's pretty impressive what goes on. If my kids were to ask me, "What do you want for Father's Day?" I'd say, "Well, besides, I don't need my book because I've already got my book." And this is an AI image, by the way. It's not a real. That's not me when I was younger cooking. Get it at Amazon or because there's new people in the chat. That's why I'm saying this. You can also get my cookbook. You can tell I'm desperate trying to sell some of these. Hey, it's coming up on Father's Day. You want to buy something nice for your dad for Father's Day? It's something different. Got any other caveman cookbooks out there? You can go to Amazon and get it, or you can get it off mine. But I don't even remember what I was talking about. Okay, so Quinn's always out in the field in black. Mike, yes. There's another person I need to talk to about don't wear black. Steve, like Jelly Roll, he's lost some weight. Yeah, I know who Jelly Roll is. Don't really hear his music much. Dude's got all his facial tats and all. I'm not doing that. Steve, the Impossible Burger from Burger King is good. I've had it. It's okay. That's my problem with a lot of plant-based food. It's okay. It doesn't wow me, but as long as it doesn't suck, I'll try it. That's what I always tell them. As long as it doesn't suck and make me rich, I'll try. It's kind of a low figure, but let's see. It looks like Kelsey on the cover a little bit, Steve. I'll say that. But maybe I should let people think they're buying a Kelsey book or something. That would be better. No, I just got AI. It's amazing what AI will do. I just said, dude, I want a caveman cooking, and look what it came up with. This was the first one it came up with, and it came up with a bunch of stupid ones. So, Clayton, turkey bacon, bake on parchment paper and sheet at 400. All right, turkey bacon's okay. It's not my favorite thing though. And if I don't really like it, then why eat it? You know, that's how I managed to lose some weight. We all hit these plateaus. When I was young, I lost 80 pounds. I weighed 170. Ooh, Rick was lean and mean back then. I was hungry. And then it came back over me on all the years. And then I had a heart attack at 42. For those of you who don't know about that, open heart. Had it at Redskin Park. The trainer saved my life. And here we are 20 some years later. And the funny part is I had to have open heart surgery and have a bypass. That's not the funny part. And then afterwards, my cardiologist told me, yeah, these things last 20 years. And well, when you're having one done, you think, all right, 20 years, almost died, but 20 years, good. Well, that 20 years came up about a year ago. I still have the same cardiologist. And I said, so I got something to worry about, you know? And she looks me right in the eye and just goes, nah, we just make that up. What? She says, most guys are older than you and have a heart attack and they're dead within 20 years anyway. So we just tell you that. I thought, so I'm okay? She goes, yes, you're okay. Quit being a baby. So my cardiologist, a woman, tough. She don't take no crap. She gives me a hard time, but keeps me alive. What's the first produce you will be able to harvest from the garden? Mike's asking. I didn't plant zucchini. I'll eat zucchini, but not willingly. Well, corn's doing great. So I'd like to think probably the corn, but the onions are doing well. The tomatoes, I'm a little behind, got them late. What else do I have out there? There's wheat out there. My son-in-law wanted to try wheat. Okay, I don't know what we're doing with it. We're gonna make bread, but we'll try it. It's doing okay. You know, I use rain barrels for collect rainwater much I can, water the garden with it. And we've been lucky this year. It's rained, enough. It's starting to get dry again. Uh, but probably the corn. I've got about 50 stalks, something like that. So we'll have lots of corn. But a farmer on here, one of the guys, Tom, who's sometimes watching, said, don't plant all your corn at once, stagger it because I'm planting enough. Stagger it over several weeks so that it comes in over several weeks. So you don't have 100 ears of corn one week and none the rest. Smart guy. I appreciate that. Ooh, we're at 8:36, already rocking through. Okay. If you don't want to buy a book, would you like to contribute to say, Rick, I appreciate you spending your busy days by the end of it with us. And hit the dollar sign there or the PayPal Venmo. You can send $5, 10 on that. We do charitable fundraisers here and there. Not tonight, but when I come back in July, I like to try and do food banks and helping out kids. And we did a fundraiser last fall for a high school in New York. I have a friend that this kid, and we raised like $150 for the ceramics club that just wanted to start, but they needed help. And I thought, hey, kids are trying to do something positive. They're not out doing drugs or shooting people. Let's try and help them out. And you guys contributed and they did great with it, getting started. So it was nice to see us help out some of the kids. But I do a lot of mostly food banks because food's important. At Christmas, we do toys for kids. I think last year we did 13 kids, donating money. And the cool thing is you can go to Amazon with these wish lists and get the kids what they want, ship it right to them using my Prime. Didn't cost me anything. And we had, I try to buy something decent, a $20 present, not $5, something stupid. We want them to have something decent. Can you imagine a kid in America, this great nation? We have the greatest nation in the world. I never back off that. I've been all around the world. And there's a lot of great places, but we're number one. How can we let a child wake up on Christmas without something? How can we let a child wake up at their place and not have breakfast? First off, I would ask the parents or whoever, how can you not be feeding your kid breakfast? Something. But yet this happens all the time, all the time. So we try and donate money to that and do what we can on there. So don't be afraid to reach out and help others. It'll come back to you in your life many times over. All right. Anybody else got some questions? We're a little low on the count tonight. I guess nobody wanted to come. Something good on TV. Otherwise, I don't know. I wanted to see the first episode of Chosen, but I didn't get to see it last night. I did see The Accountant too. If any of you's noticed, it's on Prime. Bleh. Accountant 1 was great. Accountant 2, it's kind of like they said, we got to make another movie to make money, but we don't really have a plot going into that. I'm still not really sure what happened. They saved some people or whatever, but it's, I thought it was much, much worse than the original. And then this Sunday for Father's Day, my son-in-law, who's a father too, my grandsons, said, I want to go see How to Raise a Dragon 2. Is that what it's called? And he said, let's all go to that. And I thought, all right, whatever. I'd never seen the first one. So we watched 20 minutes of it last night just to get a feel. Okay, I got suckered on this one, but whatever. Whatever they want to do. I don't care. I just like having the family around. Daniel, you're late. That's 4 Hail Marys and 2 Our Fathers. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to say it. Let's see. Steve, Counting 2 wasn't that good. Yeah, I agree. It wasn't even close. It's not like Godfather 1 and 2. Were both really good. Godfather 3 was really good too, and I'll die on that hill. Clayton started watching Dope Thief. I have no idea what that is. Dope Thief. Does he rob other dope dealers? That would be dangerous. I've been told. Don't mess with people with guns on there. We have 20 minutes left. All right, Superman and Fantastic Four next month. Yeah, I was always a big Superman guy, Steve, growing up. I mean, that was back before we had all these new Marvel characters or whatever. And Fantastic Four was on TV some too. It was a cartoon. But I'll probably go see Superman. I'm not sure I'll get a chance to see Fantastic Four. Do I ever take the grandkids fishing, Mike? Well, actually, 2 of them just went fishing without me. So I know 2 of them have gone. The other 2 I don't think would like it. So I used to go fishing with my dad a lot. My dad was a big old country boy from Carolina. So he liked to take us fishing whenever he wasn't working. But been a long time. Last time I went fishing was with my dad, and he's been dead since 1989. I just didn't want to go without him. So I haven't been fishing since. I know. Sad story. All right. So let's see. I'm trying to think. The OTAs tomorrow. Yeah, it's just pushing the show and stuff. There's no, I don't know. But I'll be doing a show around 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'll do a video in my car telling you who I thought looked good, all that. And they've all looked pretty good so far, really. Schwarzenegger's Netflix series Fubar returns. I remember seeing that last year, but I forget what it's about. What is it about on there? I saw a movie last night where the Crawdads sing, I think it was called. It was actually pretty good. This time of year, there's nothing on TV. What's the old song? Something like 86 channels and nothing's on, whatever. There's just nothing on. Sometimes I watch the old movie channel, and that really makes you feel old when you're watching it. But sometimes I do that just to see something different. The new stuff's all stupid. Game show, whatever. Just watch Theo Von interview Arnold. Okay. Fubar is like True Lies. Wow. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I did see it. Thought I did. Crawdad Sing was a great movie. Yeah, I agree, Mike. I just watched it on TV last night, and I was like, wow, this is really good. There is a Heroes and Icons channel. I think I have Comcast. Yeah. And they play Star Trek, all the Star Treks, as a series every night. Like one's at 7, one's at 8, one's at 9. So I'm watching the Voyager one now. I haven't seen it in 20 years. Something different. There's just, I tape it and watch it the next day. When do you think head coach gets an extension? Oh, Gregory, that's way too early. I would say after this year, maybe, if they do well, that kind of thing. It's hard to find good TV or movies these days. Yeah, Clayton, I don't know if it's something to do with age, and we've seen a lot of stuff already. So I've already seen that movie 3 times or 10 times. I've still watched some of them. I don't care how many times, but Yeah, even I'm getting a little tired of that. I mean, I could quote Godfather. We could just start here now, which if you want to do that, go ahead, throw your Godfather lines out. We'll see. We can all do it. So how do you keep watching it over and over? Steve, action comedy. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't think I did see that, Steve. I thought I did, but I didn't. Voyager is your favorite Star Trek series, Steve? No. Deep Space Nine. I'd say Deep Space Nine over Next Generation. Um, the first one was just so lame. It's hard to get into it. I mean, I did way back in the day, but um, Deep Space Nine, I would go, and then Next Generation, and then maybe Voyager. Not sure. Do you think Terry will get traded? Okay, Leak. You must have been late to the show, but I don't. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. They need Terry. He's still got a year on his contract, which is when you do trade people. But it's not about they don't have the money and all that for him. I think you'd really lose something by trading Terry at this point. He's still a leader of this team. He's still their best receiver. So things are going well right now. Don't muck it up. Don't overthink it. Don't try and do deals that just don't make fit. Say, Steve, have a library of movies all in digital. Yeah, now they can't play them at all. All 9 seasons of The Flash. I don't know if I've ever seen The Flash. Um, Everything's in the cloud now too. We were just talking about this the other day. I had somebody needed a ride, and he's like, "Hey, where can I plug in my phone charger?" And I'm like, "Dude, see the video cassette player in my car? I have a 20-year-old car, or it's an SUV, still runs, and I still keep it. We don't have chargers for stuff, So it's sort of like, CDs and all that. They're all going away. You got to get everything off the cloud anymore. How many times do I have to buy Frampton Comes Alive? I bought it like 5 times or something now. Donnie Brasco was good. I like that one, Clayton. I did enjoy that. Gregory, don't trade Terry. Find other ways. Yeah, correct. Correct. I just see no reason. Now, if let's say he doesn't sign, so he's heading for free agency. Yeah, you could at the end next year. You could at next year you could franchise them all. But let's say they're 3-6 and the trade deadline's coming up. Maybe you trade them then, but I don't see it. There's an animated Predator. Wow. Okay. Man, see, that's gonna be weird. I mean, Predator was a scary movie. Battlestar Galactica, David. I saw it as a kid. It wasn't my favorite, but I was a kid. I'd watch anything just because I got bored on there. We got 15 minutes to go. If you guys want to still keep going. All right. This Saturday in Washington, don't come to town. It's going to be crazy. Got a big military march coming through. I mean, if you like that, great, but just don't bring your car. Take the metro. We just finished having a big festival in town. There's a lot of stuff going on in DC right now, and it's going to get hot. So come back in September, October. We do better there. The original Battlestar was okay, Steve. It was okay. How many baseball games do I watch, Mike? Here and there. I like baseball. I just don't watch a lot of sports anymore because I've been watching sports for over 50 years and writing about them for 47. So you get a little tired of it. But I do like the Nats, So I watched a little bit of the Yanks Red Sox game just to see it. I like Judge. I mean, man, what a great player. I mean, I'm no Yankee lover, but Judge, man, what a great player. Soto should have stayed there instead of going to the Mets for more money than he'll ever spend. But he would have been happier at with the Yanks. Ryan Gosling is an upcoming Star Wars movie. Really? Yeah. I am watching the Wexham Soccer Club thing comes on every week. That's been kind of fun. I like watching European soccer shows like Ted Lasso and all that. The game itself, it's okay. I feel like I got nothing better to do. I usually do. But just seeing the sports from a different perspective overseas it's pretty cool. Clayton, they've kept Sam Hartman in fold for 2 years. Yeah. He's gotten better, I think. Just looking at him briefly in the OTAs, watching him. I think he throws the ball a little better. Mariota's not sticking around forever. Maybe they feel he can be there too. And I mean, Jaden's one. Jaden's one unless he gets hurt. Jaden's one. So if you're a backup quarterback, you have to live with the fact that that's what the deal is. So you can't play your way in the lineup. But maybe Sam, hey, it's a good job paying him well. And maybe he'll get a shot somewhere else too. The league will always give quarterback shots. Are the Nats doing better this year, Mike? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they're near a 500 team, not quite. Don't have the bullpen for it. Still could use some more hitting too. Better than the O's, I know. I like the O's. I wish them well, but Nats are my team. And the A's, I don't even know what the A's are doing. I saw where they're going to build the A's stadium in Las Vegas, and it's like right next to the airport. Of course, half of Vegas is too, but that first main intersection from the airport, that's where they're going to build it. Knock down a casino for it. I mean, I was like, wow. I saw it's not far from the Raiders stadium. You can see it from both ends. And the Raiders stadium's kind of weird looking. It's dark. And you think, really? In the desert, you painted it dark? Luke, thank you so much for kicking in. I appreciate it. I'll take whatever on there. Could stadium be even longer than 2030, Gregory? Well, yeah, it won't be any sooner. Could be 31, maybe. But 30 is what everybody's trying to get because that's when they make the big money. That'll be when you can no longer afford to go to games unless you're rich. So I'll be old. I think I'll be done by then. I'd like to get at least one more year, maybe more. We'll see how long as my health goes. When you get to a certain age, health is something you shouldn't take for granted, which is why I'm trying to do a lot of things to feel better. But sometimes time comes for us all. So I don't know if I'll be here at 2030. Steve, should break ground soon for the stadium. I don't think so. Call it the Death Star. Okay. I don't think I want my stadium to be called the Death Star. Clayton, do you think Hard Knocks will show all the brotherhood and fun we've had in Washington? DQ and AP. It'll be part of it, but probably not a lot of it. Though they center on players a lot more. I've got to stay till a Super Bowl parade. Gregory, I'll live forever. Nah, who knows? They could do it this year. I mean, the NFL is such a weird world. They almost got to the Super Bowl last year, and I'd have bet anything in last June. Their chances of going to the Super Bowl in this past season. I said, well, how much you want to bet? I came close. Glad I didn't offer some crazy bet. All right, we got 10 minutes to go. So one more time. Here you go. Come on. You got to get this for your father, your grandfather, somebody in your life that you want to give them a laugh and make them pay, make you something in there. It's well worth it. $15, Amazon, or there's the Venmo and PayPal if you just want to buy it directly. Mike, okay. Mike chipped in money, so you get to ask your question. Funniest Jack Kent Cook story. Gosh, the funniest Cook story. That would be interesting. Because Cook wasn't somebody you particularly laughed with. You kind of went like, okay, Mr. Cook, I won't do it anymore. I mean, he had his dog Coco around, little poodle thing. Everybody hated Coco. The staffers hated Coco because they'd have to go walk him. And they thought, hey, I'm an executive. I mean, we're talking Bobby Beathard even, or something like that. A friend of mine went to work for the team and he said, okay, but I'm not getting Cook lunch. And Bobby even said, I even get him his lunch. We all work for Cook, understand that. I don't know. I remember Cook was drunk one time. At least I think he was drunk. When we went to Frostburg, they had a big parade. First day, we were all up in Frostburg for 1995 camp. We came in off the train from Cumberland. We're all in Frostburg. We drive to Cumberland, take the train back to Frostburg. I think we took a bus over or something. And they have a big parade for Cook, and he's leading the Grand Marshal car. Now, a big parade in Frostburg is 1 block long. Takes about 5 minutes on a parade route to go through. And then he talked to us, and he was as happy as I've ever seen him. Had Marlena with him, and the sooner closer you got to Marlena, the more you realized how old she was. But he would He was happy that day. But funny stories about Cook, I don't know. Cook one time called me. I may have talked about this before. Calls me late at night. Usually he yell at me, but this time not. And because I could call him too. He was great about that. He wasn't like Dan, who would never talk to us. And Cook uh, said, I understand you own a vending business. And I did own a little small candy vending business. You put a quarter in, you get a gumball, that kind of stuff. And we talked for an hour about business. And he would give me advice about things like never have partners, which I agree with, because I want a partner who's going to wake me up at 6 a.m. and go, hey, fat boy, what are you doing asleep? We got work to do. Can't find these people in life anymore. So I'm not dragging somebody else along. I'll just do it without them. And that was his advice. And he always big advice of use the bank's money. Because the funny part about Cook, when he died, it turned out everything he owned was leveraged except for the team. That's the only asset he had free and clear. Here's the billionaire bully living the big lifestyle. And turned out he was broke as we were. I guess that's funny. I don't know. Are we a better team than the championship game? Hmm. I, maybe a little, but that doesn't mean you're a better team. Kind of weird like that. I mean, the schedule, all these other things. Last year they didn't lose too many guys to injuries, stuff like that. Lots can happen. Gregory, teams you sleep until lunch. Well, then I would tell you, you get a spray bottle of water and you wake them up like at 8 a.m. because you're not going to be gaming till 2 in the morning at my house. I have grandsons. I had a grandson. He wanted to cut grass. He's 10 years old. I have a extra rod mower I gave him to use. So he cuts my back acre. I have 3.5 acres. I let him cut the back acre. It's a big rectangle. And this one day he's there. I see him sitting under a shade tree. And so I thought, mower must have broke down or something. I go, what's the matter with the mower? He goes, nothing. He goes, Grandpa, it's hot out here. I said, boy, you turn that key and you don't get off this mower until you're done. I don't want to hear any of this crap. It's not even a push mower. It's a ride mower. That's how I roll with these kids. I want to make them harder. So I wouldn't let them sleep till noon. The heck with that. My spray bottle will wake you up. Listen, I work for parents who are both Great Depression kids. Neither of my parents had electricity. Neither of them had a floor. It was dirt. One of them didn't have indoor plumbing. One did. So when you got parents who grew up like that, they don't want to hear no mouthing off from you about something. And I guess I've just retained that. I don't want to hear it either. Let's just go do it. Go do it and be done. So if your kids give you a hard time like that, tough love, man. You want something out of life, you got to go get it. I figured that out when I was about 13. If I needed something, wanted something, my parents fed me, they clothed me. We had a house. I have nothing bad to say. But if I wanted anything else, if I wanted a baseball glove, if I wanted something like that, I had to go find the money, go work. That's how I did my whole life. That's how I just wrote a book in 4 weeks when somebody told me, that's impossible. How are you going to do that? I said, well, you're just going to do it. That's how you do it. All right. Boy, that sounds like wisdom from old man. But that's how life rolls, man. Nobody comes along and cuts me breaks. You just got to go get what you want in life. I went in college. I worked full time, got married halfway through college, and graduated on time in 4 years from the University of Maryland. People tell me, you can't do that. Sure, you can. You just got to work hard. Let's see. Clayton, turnovers hurt us in the NFC Championship. Yeah. I mean, you lose 4 balls, you're screwed. Steve, my mom grew up on Walton's Mountain. I have been to Walton's Mountain, Steve. Went like 5 years ago. I was in Charlottesville and I thought, I want to see Walton's Mountain. I love the Walton's TV show. So I went and saw, some of the regular places. It's not much there, really. And a lot of it's TV, too. Mike, thanks. Stories on Cook. I'd have to sit here and think about Cook for my best stories. If you'd like some Cook stories, I do have the. Go to Amazon. But this book's filled with these kind of stories. You can get it off Amazon. I only have a few left. So maybe I'll get some more and sell them in the fall. But it used to say Redskins, and then we changed it to Commanders. You can get it off of Amazon pretty cheap. I think it's like $15 or something. I need a book that's going to be like $50. Make some money off y'all. Mike, let's see. I got that. Okay. Um, yeah, unadulterated ecstasy. Yeah, Cook liked big words, you know. And Cook would always give me a hard time about, well, I started my career selling encyclopedias door to door. He goes, by God, let me explain this to you. I used to sell encyclopedias door to door. And I go, a big deal. There was like, what, 8 letters back then? How hard could it have been? And I got a lecture for that, being a smart mouth. You do that kind of stuff. Cook was a big Oxford comma guy too. He'd call me up and say, "You're missing a comma in your story." No, I'm not. Yes, there's. Because and then he goes, "Let me explain the English language to you." Heard that a lot, But I said that's an Oxford comma. Newspapers don't use Oxford commas or optional commas on dependent clauses. If anybody understands that. And we don't do it, I think, to save ink, but I don't really know. But newspapers don't. And he said, "Oh my God, the English language is not optional." And then he'd start giving me another lecture about it. So, he would use big words. Let's see. Do you think the remake, the defensive schemes, give him hope, Gregory? Can't be worse. Clayton, I used to watch the Waltons with my mom. Oh, that'd be cool since she was around. All right. Yeah, I always enjoyed all Waltons. Let's see. Any news on Gabe Taylor, Mojo? Nah, I don't see him signing here, and I don't know where else he went. Nice college player, but I don't think he's quite the pros. Maybe he plays in some other thing. Like I saw Tua, not Tua, Tua's younger brother, who played at Maryland last year. He's playing on a club in Germany. I saw it on Twitter. So there's opportunities elsewhere. It doesn't pay the money, the NFL does, but if you want to play ball and hold off working a real job the rest of your life, go play ball over there. Let's see, Gregory. Washington needs to retool the offense and defense because other teams will expect the same. Well, they are doing that. Quinn said the other day, we've got plenty of playbook we didn't use last year. So, and if I know then I know I'm going to do something different. Steve, your family lived in Radford. Yeah, I've heard of that. Oh, your dad grew up in Anacostia. I was born in Anacostia area. Lived there till we moved out to PG County. Oh, and Roy Clark. My parents knew Roy Clark too, so they were all in the same circles. Roy Clark, famous guy on Hee Haw, country singer, started out in the clubs in D.C. This was in the 1950s. Hee Haw, what a horrible show. God, hated Hee Haw. My dad would watch it every week. My dad barely watched any TV. He'd watch Hee Haw. So one day I'm in Nashville with my family, and we thought, let's go see the Grand Ole Opry. And I thought, wow, who's saying that? Me? Because I couldn't stand country music. But I had a great time at the Grand Ole Opry and saw Garth Brooks made a surprise. Boxcar Willie, if you remember him. The Wabash Cannonball sang it like a few months before he died. So if you're ever in Nashville, go see it. If you like country music or not, it's still very entertaining. Did Jack grow up poor? I don't think so. I mean, he wasn't rich by any stretch, but I don't think he was poor. Do you hear the passing of Sly Stone? Yeah, I think I did see something about that today. Mojo. Didn't know that one. Gregory, was Cook old when he bought the team? Well, he bought the team and then didn't manage it for a few years. I never really thought about it, but I would say he was around 70 or so when he came, give or take a year. Steve, Roy Clark graduated before your dad. All right. My dad left to get his GED and went in the Marines. Yeah, my dad just quit school and went in the Army, fought in Korea. Didn't want to be on the cotton plant. My grandfather and several other generations were cotton farmers. My dad said, no money in this, especially growing up in the Great Depression with all the hardship they did. So he went in the Army, and next thing you know, he's fighting in Korea. All right, so it's 9:02. I mean, I've done my hour on you guys. Next week is the last show until July 28th. We'll also bring back Seasons of Discontent podcast. But I'm still doing the morning videos, 6 a.m. and a lot of afternoons. I don't know what we're doing for the next few weeks. I'll do some pizza reviews or something. I did a pizza review the other day because my friend Bob, who's not on tonight because he's not feeling well, but if you watch on repeat, Bob, I thought we were going to this crab cake place, and Bob was buying. And next thing I know, he says, "Hey, pull over here. It's inside." I said, "This is the ice skating rink by Redskin Park." He goes, "Yeah, it's in there." I thought they got a crab cake place inside an ice skating rink. No, they had a pizza place in there. It was actually pretty good. So I did a review on that the other day. Um, I don't know. I like to try and find. And then somebody said, you always say nice things about pizza. Don't you ever say bad stuff? I said, well, I try to avoid the ones that I think are bad, and I don't want to say something bad about somebody's livelihood. You notice the other guy does pizza reviews, more famous than me. He never says anything really bad. He just may not love it. Try to be nice to people. How about that? Think about that this week. Be nice to people and buy my book or whatever. All right. Anyway, we're done. I'm Rick Snider for Rick Snider's Washington. Thank you everybody for coming. I'll see you next Sunday. Um, I haven't seen a Sandra Ball crab cake sandwich. I got to try that. I got to go get some crab cake sandwiches, Steve. Anyway, I'll be back next Monday. But in the morning, 6 a.m. and a lot of evenings, we do all kind of stuff. 52 Questions for God is on Sundays. Thank you all for watching. We're doing okay with that. And whatever else. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be around 4 p.m. or so. I'll do the live mini camp report out in Ashburn from my car. I'm there. Thank you, Clayton, for all that. Thanks, Steve. And it's hot here tonight. I don't remember. But all of you, thanks so much. I appreciate you coming to it, everything. All right. Bye, everybody.